So I am on my second drink, I don't drink, so I'm a little bit tipsy. But two. But in all seriousness, I do want you to take this next piece seriously. I didn't realize half of the people will leave after the second performance, but it's still a good crowd. It shows that you are dedicated and really interested in what we have to bring next year. And as I promised, this will be a very pioneering year, and I hope it will be at no cost, but your support will be very important. So a little bit story about last year during the candidacy race. Last year after I was president, the first person that said thank you, and I was like, shouldn't you be congratulating me? And then more and more and more people started saying thank you. And then it was at that point where I was like, oh shit, like I committed to something that it wasn't like a coveted position. So as this year, it was really walking through a ring of fire and just realizing that we have a lot of improvements we can make. And you know, I had my highs and lows, and I remember before the gay games, I was really at a low, but after the gay games, I was really inspired by a few things in July and August. My first inspiration was the track club. I'm not sure if you guys know, but Thomas Sesser, the president of the track and field club, is here. I realized that they were really committed to the idea of athleticism, running, and their team seems to be really unified. So I think we can learn from that and apply that to San Francisco and be a very marinated club with both San Francisco track and field and front runners. So for the last 3 months, I have this big plan of how we can improve front runners, and I know I gave so much hours of my time. I would hate for that to go to waste next year. So I thought about so many things and so many factors. I studied economics, so when I looked at our club, I really looked at it through a market perspective. If we are purely a social club, we are surely to drown, because in the last 8 years, the LGBT community has gone through such a massive transformation with the invention of Grindr or Jag. Our social outlet has increased exponentially. Did you say Strava? I didn't hear that. So Strava and all that stuff. So what I'm trying to say is, not only has it been socially acceptable to be gay, it's been taboo to be homophobic, especially in California. So people feel the need that the LGBT community's niche of clubs is not necessary. But I don't think that's the case, because I think human contact and human interaction is still very important. I think that's something front runners can offer. Without a doubt, we do great community service for our San Francisco community. We do the fundraiser of $10,000 per year or more for our Pride Run. We do water stations, and we do various local volunteer activities. Gary Fitzer spearheaded that last year. But you know, these are some of the questions that I ask. How do we get more members? How do we retain memberships? How do we introduce front runners to the newer generation? How do we attract talented queer runners? How do we make runners interact with each other more? And one of the top feedback that I've received is, oh, I always wanted to run with front runners, but I don't know who's running what race. How can we create this circuit? And I know Rob Mayer created this circuit a few years ago. And you know, thinking of all of this, and I do realize that when I did recruit people this whole year, I got them into the club, but it was really hard for them to stay in the club. And I think that's part of the foundation. So I'm gonna list a few things, and I want you to think about what comes to your mind. When you hear Kaiser Permanente Run 5K, Beta Breakers, Rock and Roll Marathon, Pride Run, Santa Skivvy, SF Marathon, Dipsy Trail, Hot Chocolate Run, what do you think about?
All of them are great.
I couldn't have said it better. I think of opportunities, and I think there's potential for them. So, starting 2019, I'm happy to announce we will be starting a cross-country and road racing program. Oh. And if you were wondering if this becomes too competitive, everyone is already part of this program, no matter how old you are, how fast you are, or your capabilities within the running thing. But as an incentive to attract talented queer runners, because we should follow what we are known for. In the social market, there's so many social gay clubs, right? In the running club, there are plenty of straight running organizations that will be competitive. But we are literally the only queer running group in San Francisco, and I think we should capitalize on that. Besides San Francisco Track and Field Club. We do long distance, so it's a little bit different. So we should really capitalize on that, and I think we can move forward from that. So to create an incentive for talented runners to come to our group, or existing members to motivate them to make into this, we are highlighting and acknowledging our top 21 runners. Within this top 21 runners, it's broken down into 3 teams. Men's varsity team for 39 and under, men's master team for 40 and over, and women's gold team for the women's members of San Francisco Frontrunners. So these two, the reason why I broke up is because these two groups are highly underrepresented in San Francisco Frontrunners. So we really want to give them the space and the opportunity to showcase what they have and be able to attract more. It's a little bit of a multiplier effect. If I've seen so many runners come to Frontrunners 1 week and they run with me for the 5-mile run, Ocean Beach and back, and they said, you know, I don't see a lot of runners that is really just focused on runner. I don't know if this is a club for me. And then they leave. But then 2 weeks later, another runner comes in and then they experience the same thing. You think of Charles from San Francisco Frontrunners. You think of Des, who is part of another running club. How do we just keep the queer runners together and feel like they can get the complete package here? So the benefits being part of the top 7 for each of these teams, men's varsity team, men's master teams, and women's gold team, is that you will be highlighted during our tryouts and trial runs, which will happen once every month. And so when you do get together and you want to say, hey, I want to meet other runners, we will highlight that in our newsletter, our website, and our records. Another thing is we will start a SFFR record book. So the races that I mentioned earlier, when we have those teams, we will ship them out and have them showcase at the races what front running is all about. And then that hopefully will attract other queer runners at the races. So instead of doing a booth at the Pride Parade or Castro Street Fair, we are targeting only runners, which I think that will fit us. So when we have a team of front runners, varsity team, master team, women's gold team, they will say, oh, they're wearing rainbow singlets. I wonder who they are, and if I'm queer myself, I will join that group. I've been working with Bob to making our official uniform for next year, and Bob and I created something to match this year's logo along with our more traditional, with the Golden Gate Bridge and San Francisco Frontrunners, so that we are visible at these races. We can showcase queer excellence and athleticism at the same time. We will loan out uniforms for those who are in the top 7. These are just assets. We're not actually giving it to them, so we're loaning out to them so that they can be part of Frontrunners if they can't buy the uniforms, say. And so, hopefully, this whole program will attract new members, get you to make new friends and to grow our club ultimately. And this is, I think, is such a great opportunity. And if you're not a competitive runner, what you can do is show support. If I post something on Instagram, which is going live after tonight, and I just revamp up our Instagram stuff. The new millennial thing, right? Instagram. Like the post, I'm gonna post on Facebook, and if you see anyone making our top 7 team for our 3 teams, please congratulate them. Know that they are with us and they're supporting our club, and they will attract new members, because once we have our strong core group, more and more people will say, hey, that's such a great group, I want to join this group. So moving forward, after I do some outreach, please support this, and it'll be great. At our races, I'm trying to make our races more of a destination races, so everyone can get together on race day and just run as a team. And you know, some of these races are competitive with other teams in San Francisco, so imagine if we're like the top team, because we are the only queer running group, we can attract more talent if we beat all the other teams. What does that say about queer excellence, right? We'll have a sports manager, we'll have professional photography at this races, because this is the best way to showcase who we are as a club. And I've been holding this secret for so long, I just wanted to share with you guys today, and I'm glad I did. And so this is something that you can look forward to for 2019. We hope to increase membership, retain talent, and retain some wonderful people, because you honestly are all my family. I didn't celebrate Christmas, my birthday or Thanksgiving or anything, and so tonight is really about a celebration to our club. So I know that was a lot of content. I will write an email, I will post on Facebook and Instagram, and hope to see you all next year for 2019. It's been such a great year. Thank you for coming to this party. Finish the alcohol and stick it on. Please welcome the 2019